Nate, this week we're checking out a top-down RPG that reminds us a lot of Link to the Past.
Alright, Corey, so hopping into Ocean's Heart. Man, this game, I think it did a pretty good job at mimicking Zelda, that old school Zelda game.
Oh, for sure.
Hopping straight into it, you're set into this, this new world, which I thought was also very interesting. And right off the hop, your village is attacked, and your sister gets kidnapped. And when that happens, your father's like, alright, I'm gonna go out and save her. Then time passes by, and then you, Tilia, you gain some strength, and you go on an adventure to go save your family. And that's kind of how the whole game starts, man.
Yeah.
You start off in this village, and it's pretty interesting. There's not just the main quest, there's all sorts of little side quests that you can do, and some of them actually give you choice, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you know what? Like you said, there's the main quest that we follow here, the main story where you're looking for your father and your sister in hopes to find them and defeat the pirates that attacked your village. And Tilia is kind of this upstart character. She's trying to prove something. She wants to show everybody that she's tough. She can hunt down monsters, and everybody in the town knows it. They know what her intentions are here. They know she's an adventurer, and that's what she's gonna be. And you kind of get that feeling right from the beginning. And like I said, it is very linked to the past, right? Like I feel like you're playing a Zelda game here, which I mean, to this game's credit is a great respect, because the environments and the audio just kind of immerse you a little bit in this kind of pixelated universe. And I really, really enjoyed it. But like getting back to the quests here, you have your main quest, but you do have these side quests, and they pile up pretty quickly, I found. Yeah. Like if you start talking to everybody, and everybody's got something to say here, so it's not one of those games where you should really skip by, because whether it just be some lore about the area you're in or some of the story that's going on, or it throws you into one of these side quests that you can choose or, choose not to do. But they do stack up pretty quickly, and it does help you kind of navigate around the map. It kind of sends you to certain areas. Mm-hmm. But what I found was, when I finally got to the map in the menus, is that the map doesn't offer you a whole lot other than just kind of the general area you're in. This is a grid-based game, right? We're going from screen to screen, so it would be nice to see a grid-based map where we could, kind of understand exactly where we are in this certain areas. Because when you're asked to go look for something or search for a certain item in an area, you can go to that area and it'll tell you at the top of the screen where you've entered it, like when you've entered in, and then you don't get really any other guidance for where you're at other than that, unless you go into a new area. So you're just kind of roaming around sometimes, and I found running into some of these enemies, especially early on, turned out to be pretty difficult. Did you have any issues running into those guys?
Oh man, the difficulty in this game. It's wow, it's there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Like right off the hop, you're kind of dying fairly consistently. There's quite a different variety of enemies, and I think they're pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I must say, once you've, dare I say, master the combat in the game, there is quite a bit of satisfaction to it. But alongside all these monsters, man, there is a bit of jank with this game. I found that the combat was a little bit clunky. Your hitbox is very confusing. Sometimes when when you swing your sword, you'll hit an enemy, and then other times you won't, especially when they're in the the right or the left of you. Especially when you're hitting plants or picking up items, you need to be really spot on. So I found it's just like this kind of awkward unsmoothness to this game.
Yeah, and this game offers controller support, which is nice. But I did start off using keyboard and mouse. And the keyboard controls were fairly basic, but what I found was that the menu system here is very It's weird. You press the
Clunky
menu
again.
button to pull up the menu. Then you have to scroll through each menu screen to get to whether it be your inventory or the map or just the actual game menu. So there's or your quest, sorry, that's the other screen that you're kind of scrolling through. It'd be nice to have dedicated keys to just take me to that screen and toggle it on and off, because sometimes I don't want to scroll through my map and my game menu just to get over to where my quests are. And it's just, it seemed just like the controls, it seemed kind of clunky. It wasn't what I wanted. So in that note, I was like, well, maybe I'll try the controller and see if this helps out anymore. So the controller definitely made the movement of the player on the map a little bit smoother, but again, there are some hitbox issues that even the controller has a tough time getting to. So it's those diagonals, right, in games like these where that's always the tough part, but this one just didn't, it seemed off. Like even the basic enemies were tough to hit sometimes because their movement patterns are random. So if they make a move and you swing and they're in that corner, sometimes they can hit you. You don't have an option. Like you're taking it no matter what. So it was a little difficult to get into this, even with the controller. I do like the fact that you have the choice whether or not to play with the keyboard or the controller. But again, it's just, there's something missing here, and the jankiness with the controls is definitely kind of what gets you caught up every once in a while here.
And just something as simple as your interact button being your dodge button, man. There's so many times I'm trying to like talk to someone or pull a plant and then I just roll. Sometimes even roll off a ledge or something. That was an oversight. You know, your left bumper on the controller, or your L1 if you're using a PlayStation controller, that's your menu, and you don't press B or circle to back out. You have to press the menu button. There's just, the controls, man, was definitely a bit of a, I don't know if it was a rush thing or they just need to maybe look at other games and see what they do, but it wasn't really doing it for me, man. And another thing too, kind of talking about the combat, you can't heal while in combat. There's no hotkey. You are forced to go to your menu and then just eat a couple apples or whatever your your potions are.
Yeah, few and far between.
And then get back right into it. So I don't know. I was trying to figure out if that's like a direction choice that he made because, you know, the combat would be too easy if it was just a hotkey, or, you know, I don't know, but it kind of took me out of it a little bit. Because, you know, you have all these buttons, and a lot of them are not being used in this game. You know, you have your X and your Y for your magic, which is another thing in this game, which is cool. You have different abilities, like a shield or a repulse beam, or you have, like, electric shock. So, you know, there's some variety and some draw to this game. Like, I don't know, as I'm playing it, like, I'm kind of getting these mixed feelings. But honestly, I could say that if you're looking for, you know, this style of game, and you haven't played Zelda, or you already have played Zelda, then this could be for you, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a top-down RPG that fits well into the genre. Like, it is a good replacement for a Zelda Link to the Past style game where, you know, those are one of those games that are timeless. Like, even now that game still stands up. You can jump in and play. And Ocean's Heart has taken enough from that game and put it into their game that I think this game will attract a fan base here, and people that are just looking to try a new top-down RPG, because, you know, Zelda is so kind of out there. It's been played. You know, we've all played it a million times. So, you know, everybody's looking for something new. And I do like the weapons that we get here are very Zelda-like. We get the boomerang, we get the mace, we get, you know, the shield and the bow and arrow. So, I mean, we get all that cool stuff. But again, it's all in this game. So it's all things we get to discover and learn about and use in this game, and, you know, following along Tilia's story all the way through this beautiful environment. So this game has a lot going for it. It's just, there are some things here that, if you can look past some of the control issues and maybe just how the menu system's laid out, there could be, you know, a really, really great game here for some people. So honestly, man, I think we gotta score this one. So if you gotta give Ocean's Heart a score out of 10, what are you gonna give it, man?
Well, man, one thing we have to mention too, this game has been crafted by one person, man.
Yeah. Max Mraz.
A single individual. So
right.
This, like that, hearing that alone, I have to give them more credit. Like, this is honestly an incredible game for one person to craft. So for me, man, it's actually going to get a 6.5.
Oh, nice. You know what? Again, we talked about this before we started the review that this one was a kind of a tougher one to score for us because we wanted to like it more than we did. There's some things holding us back here, but there is a solid game here, and I think for people, that are fans of this genre, they're going to love this one. So I'm just below you with a 6. Oceanheart is a great top-down RPG that pulls a lot of inspiration from Zelda Link to the Past, but the awkward control scheme and the clunky menu system can be really frustrating at times.